Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to look into yet another TikTok community which sucks. Frankly, I just feel like we're doing a new version of why Tumblr sucks, but this is why TikTok sucks. The app doesn't suck. It's these communities that are on the app that suck. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know that in the past I made a video about the shoplifting community on Tumblr. On my For You page, again, I don't even know why that came up on my page because my page is usually only animals, but for some reason the algorithm chose to show me someone who was giving tips about shoplifting or someone who was doing a shoplifting haul, which in and of itself, don't get me started. Well, I am gonna get started because that's the point of the video. We're gonna look through some of these TikToks. I have to censor the music, you know how it goes. And then I wanna talk about the larger problem that comes with this. Oh, also before we start, I just wanna show you how many shoplifting hack type accounts even exist. Like, I was scrolling for a while here, so even that to me makes me lose a little faith in humanity. I like that it's framed as this pure kind of, oh yeah, come lifting with me. So they show a haul at the end, and that's what I think is the part that frustrates me to the greatest extent, because obviously I'm not in favor of stealing in the first place, but the fact that there's this kind of level of pride of look at everything I got, look at what I got. I'm gonna talk about this in a minute, but the common thread between a lot of these shoplifting accounts or these shoplifters is that they're only stealing from larger corporations, so they feel like they're sticking it to the man and, like, you know, fuck capitalism. At the same time, there's this hilarious irony that you're talking about fuck capitalism while you're showing what you stole, which are materialistic things, which then connect back to capitalism, because you're not stealing a lipstick to say fuck you to the man. You're stealing a lipstick because you want a lipstick. I also want to clarify with my lipstick example, it's fine to want a lipstick, but I think it's kind of hilarious to pretend that the whole wanting of a lipstick and stealing of the lipstick is to stick it to the man, when the reality is you want a thing but you don't want to pay for it. So it's all centered in vanity nonetheless, because what you're getting is a beauty product which has to do with vanity. So it's just kind of almost like you're kidding yourself into thinking that you're doing something that has a larger effect on corporations, when the base thought of you wanting to steal the lipstick was, I want something for me. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's keep going. So here we have another one that is giving us tips on how to hide things when you shoplift. So a lot of these accounts use the term borrowing. I don't know if they're worried that their content is going to get removed if they use the term shoplifting, but I find the term borrowing for some reason just really funny because it just highlights how ridiculous their whole endeavor is. But I mean, the tips given in this particular TikTok are not groundbreaking. Granted, I'm not a thief, but I mean, it seems pretty obvious that you would hide it in your clothing. That seems like the most obvious place someone would look if they were patting you down as well. So I don't know how helpful that one was, but moving on. These TikToks also get into subcategories, like the people running these accounts will tell you, you know, the easiest things to steal from Victoria's Secret or the easiest things to steal from Best Buy. So truly, these people are scientists? Are they coming up with formulas? Are they changing our life on the daily by adding up what you could possibly steal from Bath and Body Works just to make our lives easier? They really, really are altruists, must say. Again, we have some groundbreaking news. Steal things that are small. Got it. Thank you. So here we have one last topical one, just so you guys get the general gist, and then I'll get into my issue with it. Okay, so based on my understanding of the shoplifting community on Tumblr, there seems to be a very consistent kind of thought with the shoplifting community on TikTok. And generally speaking, it seems like the common belief is that if you are stealing from chain stores like fucking Walmart or something, that it is less unethical, or it's less morally bankrupt, or it's more moral in some way. And while I can understand why someone might think that, because you're thinking, oh, these people make millions or billions, so why does it matter if I take this little $2 earring set? Well, you're wrong. You think you're sticking it to the man when the reality is that you are actually affecting the life of the employees of that store. So in your glamorized vision of the world where you stealing things is just gonna hurt the man at the top, well, that's delusional, because realistically, it's gonna hurt the people who are probably being underpaid and working too many hours for the little money they're making. So I looked into it, and of course there are articles about it, but I also found a Reddit post that gives you a first-person account. And the reason I want to use a first-person account, I get that it's anecdotal, but at the same time, if you are a shoplifter and if you do come across this video, maybe having a first-person account will make you realize that what you're doing fucks with people's livelihoods, and it's not the people at the top, it's the people in the store who are making minimum wage. People who think shoplifting is okay because they're only stealing from big corporations. God damn it. As someone who currently works 2 jobs in retail, this is the shit that pisses me off to no end. If you're stealing from any store, guess what? You're fucking someone else over. One of my store loses an average of $500 every fucking day, and you know damn well that money isn't coming out of corporates' pockets. That's $3,500 a week that we all of a sudden don't have because people can't function like real adults who earn money to buy things. That means that we have fewer hours because we're making less money and we're not hitting our sales goals. Honestly, I get why people shoplift. It's tempting to see all the free shit and it's easy, but don't act like you're some kind of champion of the people, striking against the oligarchy for their sins. The only people you're hurting at the end of the day are the ones at the bottom of the food chain. So again, this person makes extremely valid points. And I think that when these shoplifters take whatever they take, I think that they think they're punching the guy at the top, when in reality, you're punching the underpaid worker, and then you're getting their hours removed. Okay, so here I've made a little drawing of what I think the mentality is. So, if you decide to get this cologne, which is a really good cologne, strongly suggest it, but if you decide to get this cologne and you decide to pay for it, essentially you're supporting corporations and you're supporting toxic industries. This is their mentality. And granted, there are some points to be made about toxic industries, but that's not the point of this video. On the other hand, if you lift it and you follow the purple mentality of theirs, you're stealing it, so you're hurting the corporation, and then you have the beautiful, very satisfying at the end feeling of fuck capitalism. The reality is that the dark purple scenario is just not the right one. You lift it and then you're hurting employees, and you didn't make a big difference unless you stole in masses, but stealing one hair clip or whatever the thing is only going to really hurt the employees. But I do think this is the mentality they go in with, or this is kind of like the rationale that they use in order to kind of feel good about themselves after doing something that isn't great and shouldn't be done in the first place. Let me read part of an article about this. This is an article that is specifically about Walmart, but I mean, it pertains to any other corporation as well. So it says, when Walmart loses products to shoplifters, it's called shrink by the company. While the shoplifting obviously affects the income of the store, it also impacts employees directly. Their 3-month bonuses, called My Share, are cut. Not every store has 3-month bonuses, but the fact that you're shoplifting removes money directly from an employee's pockets. They deserve the bonuses, and it's also very clear that bonuses are usually a big chunk of money that can be make or break in an employee's life. So again, when you think you're sticking it to the man, you're not at all. And I think that's what frustrates me the most, because I think these people think there's some kind of Robin Hood of like stealing from the rich and giving to themselves, which I assume they view themselves as the poor. But the reality is, that is so far from the case. It's delusional and it's unfair. And aside from that, there's also, like I said, the kind of irony where if this were a conversation about someone stealing food from Walmart because they don't have food to feed their children, that's a different ethical discussion, because that is a question of survival. Still, I don't approve of stealing, but if it's to survive, okay. The things that these people are stealing are completely vanity-filled things. I could understand if it were things of necessity, but I think what makes me more pissed off is like, you're fucking up an employee's life because you wanted a lip gloss from Victoria's Secret? Like, are you shitting me? Like, really? You're gonna go and do that and fuck someone up for something that you don't need. It's just something that you want. You know? So like, I hate to be that person, and I know I'm gonna sound like a boomer. Save your money and then buy the thing. It feels a lot better when you save money and then buy the thing. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, in my opinion. But it's almost laughable how people are really trying to put a kind of virtue in stealing. I'm sorry if I got heated, but this shit is ridiculous. I don't think this should be allowed on TikTok. I mean, considering the shit that's on TikTok, the fact that they're just allowing people to post these hacks is stupid. And a lot of the people who were posting these hacks seem to be relatively young as well, which is alarming in and of itself. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons as always.